a European outlet and also 2 USB ports to charge those devices. And also 1 USB port to charge those devices. Welcome to London St Pancras International! Today we're doing something a little bit different. So we've been on the Eurostar many times before.
We have, it's featured in races to Brussels, Amsterdam, Paris, but
it's always a race, but we haven't really compared the different classes of travel. So I'm going to be today testing out Business Premier, the best Eurostar has to offer.
And I'm going to be in a slightly less fancy cabin, but hopefully still a good one, in Eurostar's standard class.
We're both going under the sea, all the way from London to Paris, and I think now it's time to go check it out.
Let's go and check in.
Well, it's a glorious day at London St Pancras International Station right behind me here. Business Premier, I've done it before, it's a really nice way to travel. But I guess the point of this is it worth it? It's quite a bit more expensive, often 100 or 150, 200 pounds even more than the standard seats. I'm going to check it out for you and help you understand whether you want to pay that little bit extra.
I'm about to go inside to check in for my Eurostar service today to Paris. Now, I know that I'm in economy and it's not going to be quite as fancy as experience as Nicky will have, but I've had great times with the Eurostar in the past. It's a super cost-effective way to get over the border into Paris, and frankly, I can't wait to get going.
So the Business Premier check-in is right behind me here, and it is fully empty, like not one person there, versus maybe 200 people waiting to get in the normal line, which is servicing standard and standard Premier, but for Business Premier, no queue, straight in. I'm gonna whiz through here in 2 seconds.
This line's actually moving very quickly, and it's taken me no time at all to get from the back to the front. The process for getting your ticket is nice and simple as well. Once you've bought it online, you can download it straight to your phone, add it to your Apple Wallet if you want to, and then simply scan it, show your passport, and it's just as simple, if not even more simple, than checking in at an airport.
So Business Premier ticket gives you access to the Business Premier Lounge, which is such an amazing place to hang out before your train. The train's actually right here through this window. And here there's a selection of lovely drinks, snacks, and one thing that always really stands out to me is this unbelievable selection of magazines and newspapers. I love it here, lots to read on the train, places to hang out, a bar, desks to work at. There's not really a lot more you could ask for from a train lounge. The Coke Zero is a bit frothy though.
Now, Nicky is just headed over into the business lounge. Unfortunately, I don't have any kind of lounge access, and it is quite busy in this main area today, but there's a few cafes, shops, so let's go and have a look around, see if I can find a bit of food and something to drink. So I finally been able to get a seat, and I've also got myself a nice refreshing iced coffee. I was actually pretty impressed with the selection of drinks and food available in the station pantry behind me. There was booze, you get gin and tonic, there were beers on draft. If I wasn't working, and if it was a bit later in the afternoon, I would probably treat myself to a pint. But for now, iced coffee will do. I don't have lounge access, but this is not bad at all.
Well, after a very pleasant but short stay in the Business Premier Lounge, I'm now going to head to platform 5, which is where our train is leaving from. It's kind of chaotic in here, so I'm glad that I had the opportunity to be in that very refined, quiet and enjoyable space.
Oh, well, here we are. There you can see next to me this beautiful Eurostar train. I'm pleased to report it's actually the newer model of the 2 trains that operate. You can see the older version on that side of the platform.
So the boarding process is pretty simple. They pretty much just open the doors, everybody files upstairs, people are not running or rushing. There's obviously lots of doors to get on the train, so it's not quite like boarding an aircraft. It's much easier, much more relaxed. Nothing special for Business Premier for the actual getting on the train, but it doesn't matter because there's no stress going on here anyway. Hi, how's it going?
Yeah, good.
Thanks so much.
Okay, here we go. Stepping on board coach 7, looking for seat 82.
Welcome aboard Eurostar's Business Premier seat, which is arranged in this carriage in a 1-2 configuration, which is a little bit more spacious than the 2-2 you get elsewhere in the train. It's really fresh, comfortable, it feels new. There's a nice tray table in front of you, a little mirror if you want to check yourself out. There's a drinks holder, adjustable armrests, and by pressing the lever down by your side, you can recline the seat. It's not a big recline, but there's a light just by your shoulder here, a little button, bing, that you can turn on and off. and also lots and lots of legroom and a little footrest that you can put out and rest your feet on, which is very handy and well positioned. There's a couple of storage areas, you've got racks above your head, you've also got places to put books and magazines, and then also plug sockets, so both a European outlet and also one USB port to charge those devices.
Well, I'm pleased to report that we departed bang on time at 1:31. We are now hurtling towards the channel, and now that we're here, let me give you a tour of my seat. So first of all, the seat itself, it's in this nice blue design, and it's a pretty decent size. You can see there, plenty wide enough, and it has a bit of padding behind my headrest. I would say that it's not the comfiest in the world. It's pretty firm, doesn't offer a lot of padding, but it's not the worst thing in the world. On my right and left side, I have a couple of armrests. The one in the middle of the seat can move up and down depending on who you're sitting next to, and I have another one to my right which is not actually adjustable. Down to my right, I also have a little lever to help me recline, so let's give this a test. And I'm not even sure you'll be able to pick that up on video. There is a very slight recline on the chair, but to be honest, it feels no different at all. And I would say that you certainly get a lot more recline in economy on a flight. Out in front of me, I have a ton of leg room to stretch out in, which has been made even more roomy by the fact I have no one sitting opposite next to me. You can also see there is this tray table that is shared between 4 different people, but if you want to extend it slightly, you just pull up the table like so, and you get a bit more space to yourself where you can eat off of, use your laptop, that sort of thing. So nice and easy to move that in and out depending on what you need. For every 2 seats, you have 2 plug sockets, one UK configuration and one Euro plug socket. So if you want to charge a laptop or a phone on your journey, you can do that as well. In terms of storage, there is a space for big bags at the end of each cabin. And then as standard, you'll have the overhead storage as well, where you can toss up a backpack, a smaller bag, or that kind of thing.
Thank you. Now you all know I'm not a boozy boy, but it felt appropriate. Champagne was on offer, it was there, the bottle was there with a lovely little hanky round the top of it, so a sip's not gonna hurt, is it? So a few minutes into our journey and be giving out these antibacterial hand wipes. It's actually quite cool that they have a QR code on them, and you can use the QR code to find your menu so you know what's on board today. And already had some little roasted broad beans, little snacky to kick things off. Complimentary alcohol and soft drinks and food coming, already an elevated experience.
Now, there's no way of ordering food or drink directly to my seat in standard class, but there is an onboard cafe offering an assortment of different options. I think it's time to go and check it out. Come with me. Can I get a gin and tonic, please? And the coconut dal. Amazing, thank you so much.
We're now less than half an hour into the journey and lunch has just been served. I am going to go for the smoked salmon cold main course with bread, the starter and the dessert already there, and a tea coffee cup that I assume is going to be hot drinks later. I was also offered wine. There was a selection of different reds and whites. There's also spirits on offer here that I can see as well, but for me today, no, I'm all right.
Well, I've returned from the cafe with a few treats. First of all, I've got myself a nice gin and tonic, and then the thing I'm really excited about for food is this coconut lentil curry, which I thought was a pretty interesting thing to be able to order on a train. It looks great. Let's pop it open so you can see it there. It smells delicious. Let's give it a go. Cheers.
For what is effectively quite a short train journey, it's a really impressive meal service, a starter, main course and dessert. It was all delicious and tasty. I also saw the hot option, which looked pretty good, but I didn't fancy that today. The salad option actually wasn't on board today, but with plentiful drinks, nice fresh hot coffee and food that actually was more filling than it even looked. You're not going to go hungry in business Premier on the Eurostar.
I was really impressed in the cafe. There was loads of drinks on offer, loads of different food. You could get sandwiches, croissants, hot food like this. I know it does just sort of look like a bucket of sick at the moment, but I promise it tastes better than it looks. Definitely was not expecting a hot meal like that in the standard class. Oh, well look who's come to slum it with me in standard class.
Well, do you know what? I actually think this is almost better. Having a table for 4, I don't have, it's really, really busy where I am and I'm on this single seat. I actually think you've got a better deal here.
I've really hit the jackpot having all of this space around me, and I have to say it's been a thoroughly relaxing experience so far.
Well, seat aside, I found my actual seat incredibly comfortable. I do love a table, but having a little like pull down airline style thing has been really nice. But what's really great is the food. It's been plentiful, it's been really tasty. You sit in your seat, the service was quick, there was champagne, there was wine, service was lovely, everything was with a smile. So
Did you have to pay for your meals?
it was all free.
Well, I did have to pay for mine, but I was able to get a lovely gin and tonic and a coconut lentil curry, which I wasn't expecting. It did look a bit like hot sick in a bucket, but it was very tasty nonetheless.
If it's tasty, who cares? The other thing just to note is that on the ground, I think where our experience differed a lot was with those big queues in London, and being able to whisk through the process of security actually was pretty good, but it looked like you had to queue for a while.
Yeah, you definitely beat me there. It probably added about 25, 30 minutes to my journey having to wait in that queue, but it wasn't the end of the world. Once I got through and that Brussels train departed, the area cleared out and I got a coffee and a little snack there. So overall, I think given that yours probably cost a lot more than mine did, I've come out of it pretty damn well.
So with these tickets probably costing about 100 to 150 pounds more, would it be worth it for you?
I think, to be honest, if I hadn't had this lovely free area around me, then it really would have made a big difference. And don't bank on having as much space as I did today. It's certainly not the norm. And I think for that quick check-in, free food and probably more space most of the time, it's probably not a bad idea to upgrade if you can.
Well, I think, although I've had a really nice time, I think maybe could I have saved for the two of us 300 quid if we were both up there and gone and had an unbelievable lunch in Paris? I think that might have been the way forward.
Yeah, very fair point, but we're going
go do that anyway?
We're going to do that anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, we're almost at Paris and I think we will have a nice little lunch, but this has been interesting.
Au revoir.